All right. Welcome back, my regular viewers, listeners, and watchers. And of course, if you happen to be here for the very first time, welcome. Before I go any further, my name is Rahul George, India's premier eye hypnosis coach and your personal guide. So today is a special day many on many levels. One is, of course, it's been a year since I officially launched the eye hypnosis brand. Of course, we were on a previous when you talk about software, you talk about version 1, version 2, and so on and so forth, the 1.0, 2.0. So last year this time I was literally at this point in the middle of my webinar launching the brand officially. And of course, in those days, it used to go with the name of the purpose compass, being the property. It was known as the purpose compass. And even as I was reflecting back on the year that's been, there has been so many changes on so many levels. One is, of course, this last year has slowly but steadily given birth to, given rise to the podcast that you get to listen to, the eye hypnosis coach speaks. That's this very podcast that you're listening to. And of course, there have been many firsts. About a month ago, I started the podcast series where I interview coaches and healers who are on this journey, people who have not only been focusing on getting better at their craft, but also who have slowly but steadily built their marketing muscle, their sales muscle. And it's been really fascinating to see how all these pieces are coming together. And then, of course, today is my wife's birthday. So it makes it even more special. And in fact, today she herself just launched um, her coaching business. I mean, you will hear a lot more about that in the coming days. This is, of course, for someone who has been doing this for many years, uh, someone who has been an excellent mentor and counselor to many in the various companies that she's worked in. And it's beautiful to see how time has a way of molding our lives. By that I mean, when you zoom out and let's say you think about, what was life like 1 year ago, what was life like 3 years ago, and when you go down this path, it's really interesting to come across these milestones. And so today definitely is one such moment. In fact, I have this habit from time to time to just pause, especially when it's something momentous that's happened, and I kind of like ask myself that question, where will I be 1 year from now, 3 years from now, remembering this moment? And so again, I could never have imagined the outcome or the way the last year would go. And it's been beautiful in so many ways. There's been a lot of learning. Of course, there've been, missteps or things that, one I would have wanted to go a certain way, but obviously in hindsight, I'm glad that, it panned out the way it did, because I've got to, learn so much from it. I've had the opportunity to learn more about myself. And uh, I'm actually really glad that here we are, like a year later, and reflecting back on the year that was. And again, as always, like I say, these podcasts are not just for me. They're not just my diary or my journal where I kind of put my thoughts in, but it's also an opportunity. And this is me asking you, you know, when you reflect back on your life, where were you 1 year ago at this time? And what are some of the things that have changed? Maybe some things that surprised you, and where you notice that you've grown in leaps and bounds, and certain things where you may have wanted it to go a certain way, but you're glad that now, as you reflect on what didn't happen, maybe it was a client that you wanted to onboard, maybe it was a client that you had to let go of, or maybe it was a project that you wanted but didn't happen, and now at this point when you reflect back, you see the wisdom in why it didn't happen. So, like I said, to me these are moments which just reminds me how much time truly is relative, right? There are moments where it feels like it's like a day feels like 100 hours, and there are moments where an entire week feels just like one minute. So I'm also reminded of how in the last couple of days I've been kind of tapping into this more philosophical state of mind, and in many ways I'm just being mindful of it, and I know that there's a lot happening behind the scenes. There are a lot of new developments happening. This is the year of the launch of the IHNLP practitioner program, and as I look back, not just a year, not just 5 years, but literally a good 16, 17 years. This program, has been obviously many years in the making, but now we're at that point where there are people, joining in, wanting to learn uh, more about themselves, wanting to learn skills so that they can, work in a better way with other people, with their clients. So uh, definitely a beautiful time to be alive, and this is just me wishing you all the very best in everything that you're doing. And of course, having said all of that, if if you are somebody who, especially as a digital coach and healer, if you are somebody who's struggling, reach out. I mean, that truly is the reason why, come what may, I make it a point to show up every day, and just to remind you that there is a voice out there. There is somebody out there who is thinking of you, and who is wishing that that life gets more free flowing. And so, having said all of that, of course, remember to live with purpose, and reach out. If I can help you in any way, I certainly will. Right. So look forward to seeing you in the next one. God bless. Have a wonderful week ahead, and I will see you soon. Take care. God bless. Bye.